Welcome to Kick 'Em in the Head, a podcast that takes an inside look at the world of mixed martial arts, featuring interviews with some of the top fighters from South Africa and around the world, with a focus on the EFC and UFC promotions. I'm your host, Yao. Join us as we delve deep into the techniques, strategies, and mindsets of these world-class athletes, learning from their experiences and gaining insights into what it takes to succeed in the toughest sport on earth. Welcome to Versus Fight Night 7. Kick 'Em in the Head podcast is taking over, an amateur promotion in Pretoria, South Africa. If you want to find out more, follow me. Versus out in Pretoria is having electrifying grappling competition prior to their main event of the night, Versus 7 Fight Night. And we're looking forward to some very exciting fights from some amateur fighters. And if you really want to find out how these guys are going to perform, follow me. They're going to perform in the cage. Versus is an amateur promotion that pits amateur fighters against each other in a cage. Amazing fights between lots of gyms across South Africa. And if you look at the talent that's been coming out of South Africa over the past few years, Clickers Duplessis, Cameron Simon, who we'll be speaking to later, it's going to be a hell of a fight night. So if you want to find out more, if you want to see more action, you have to find adrenaline fueled MMA, tune in to Kick 'Em in the Head podcast. Welcome to the Kick 'Em in the Head podcast, and today we have a very special guest, one of the friends of the podcast, Ronan Soaps. Hannes, welcome to the Kick 'Em in the Head podcast.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me. Yeah, fantastic.
So Ronan Soaps, Hannes, tell us more. Ronan Soaps is an antibacterial soap that you guys have created specifically in the MMA space. Why?
Okay, so there's a lot of obviously stuff going around, ringworm and things like that. Me and my partner Arnu, we thought, hey, let's try and get something local, natural and affordable that we can sell to the local scene in the MMA and the grappling world. That's to combat all the sicknesses and the diseases that's going around.
Oh, that's quite true, because when you grapple on these mats, it can get very, very gritty and grotty. So how have fighters taken to the soap, and how has the MMA community embraced Ronan Soap so far?
Look, so far it's growing slowly but surely, but they love it. I mean, it's natural, it's local, and we've got great, fantastic feedback from people, good reviews, and we're going somewhere. So we're growing partnerships with you guys, partnerships with Versus, and we're going to go to great places.
Look, I'm looking forward to it, and I must say, I really enjoyed the soap myself. I'm definitely taking a few bars today because it really keeps you clean. After a shave, keeps you nice and clean. If you're traveling, keeps you nice and fresh without any worry of any infections, any athlete's foot or anything. So thank you very much for creating it. And in the MMA world yourself, do you know how to fight?
I know how to grapple. I do. I just competed today here at Versus. Fantastic promotion. Shout out to them. I got 4th place. My partner beat me in the semi-finals, got 2nd place. but we'll go there. Yeah, but I can't say I know how to fight, but we can scrap on the ground.
Now with that, I'm going to get into our fighter quiz. Who's your favorite fighter?
EFC, I'll have to say it's probably Mark Hume and a few other guys that we enjoy. But UFC, I'll go with Dricus du Plessis, main man, shout out, champion. Still not, yes. And then I love Charles Oliveira. Dobrogs, also shout out to him.
That's a nice list there. What's your favorite fighting style?
BJJ. Definitely Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, most effective in MMA as well. But if we're going like striking, we'll probably go with Muay Thai.
What's your favorite move?
The Americano.
Wait, what's the Americano?
It's you're inside control on top, getting him in a figure four, opposite arm, and then it's like a breakage move.
How many rounds are there in a title fight? In MMA?
In MMA, 5 rounds. 5 rounds.
Name 3 illegal moves.
A knee well grounded. And then I don't know, groin shots and behind the head. Yeah.
100%. I already asked you if you know how to fight, so we've got that answer. What's your favorite movie about fighting?
Definitely Fight Club. But we're not allowed to talk about it.
No, we can't talk about it. So then what do you know about yourself if you've never been in a fight?
Okay. Yeah, that you caught me there.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how big of an MMA enthusiast are you?
I'll probably go with an 8. Probably an 8. I'm quite religious about MMA and fighting, and in general, I enjoy martial arts. And watching it, I'm a big fan. Yeah.
So now you've heard it first here from Kick You in the Head. Ronan Soap's out to protect anyone in the MMA space, anyone that goes to the gym, and anyone that's looking to fight bacterial infection. Kick bacterial infection in the head with Ronan Soaps. Hannes, can I get a kick in the head from you?
Yeah, definitely. We can kick him in the head.
So where can people find Ronan Soaps on the socials?
On Instagram, definitely on Instagram and Facebook. You can just go search Ronan Soaps. You'll get us there. You can send us a DM if you want to place an order, and there's also a link which you can follow. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Hannes.
Pleasure. Thank you very much.
Roel van der Veer. Welcome to the Kick You in the Head podcast. It's a pleasure. Now, we've chatted to you before, but you've been up to some very interesting things lately. Tell us more about what you've been busy with.
Okay, so you're putting me on the spot now, but 2 weeks time I'm fighting against the African goat, the Mark Pena, in his home country, Angola. It's a charity fight between us to make it happen. And if you don't say yes to challenges like that, why are you fighting? So why? Yeah.
So you're going all the way to Luanda, Angola to fight in an exhibition against the goat, African goat Pena.
Yeah, I've always looked up to him. I know what's lying ahead for me, but I can do it. So
tell us more. How do you get yourself into the mindset for a fight like this against someone as seasoned and pedigreed as the Mart? How do you prepare? Because obviously it's it's competitive, but it's not for any sort of title or prize. So how do you prepare yourself mentally for a fight like this?
For me, it stays a fight. You know, we're testing ourselves. We're testing ourselves against another human being to see who's the best, who can break through and stuff like that.
So tell us more about the gym that you're from and how it is out there, because we know that gyms are essentially at the heart and the core of MMA, because a strong gym creates a strong fighter. So how is it working out of your gym, and how has that helped in your MMA journey?
Our gym, it's a difficult setup if I can say it like that. Because we're a university town, so it's rinse and repeat. So just when a guy starts to show somewhere, this guy's going to the next level, he's finished with his studies, then he leaves. So, but we're busy now building a solid team that's more local, if you can tell that. And then meanwhile, try to send guys that's from out of town the best skill set possible to the new gyms.
That's amazing, because the way gyms influence their communities from time immemorial is always usually in a very positive way, because it helps kids who might not have any other way to express themselves. And as you said, as a university town, you get a lot of very smart, very skilled kids coming in, but there's a high churn rate. How do you manage to actually then train these fighters up to get them ready for the next level? Because being a professional MMA fighter is very different to being an amateur.
Yeah, it is difficult. It's not from my experience. You can't do it the normal way. It takes too long. Okay? If I could say it like that, because like I'm seeing some of my students March next year. It's 4 months that they're not going to be at the club. So
they use continuous improvement.
Yeah, so it's like you have to start all over again. 4 months all over again. So the thing is now, I think we've got the formula, but it's not ideal for the turnaround, if you can say it like that. Yeah.
So tell us more about your MMA career. When can we expect to see you back in the Hex, and who would you like to fight?
At the moment, putting me on the spot again. It's looking good for some overseas fights for me. I took the chance. I spoke to Graham about it. I took a chance, and I've got there's some opportunities maybe waiting for me. And the March Pena thing, event that's coming up is just, for me, it's exactly at the right time for me, fighting over in another country, getting used to all the other stuff. For me personally, it was never a goal to fight overseas, because I started late with my career. I was just like, if I can get one pro fight, maybe I'll do different. And then all of a sudden, okay, now here I am, and I'm feeling great. I'm feeling better than a couple of years ago, so everything's good. From the Hexagon EFC, I love the EFC, obviously. When I heard I've got the opportunity at the other event, I'm like, jeez, then I realized like the EFC is like also your own, actually, when you're starting and stuff. There's definitely guys that I would like to fight still there.
Give us one name. Okay, no pressure.
No, so I still want to stay friends with the guys, so maybe won't take it good if I say it now. But yeah, so yeah.
Ruvan, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it. So on the socials, where can people find you?
It's Instagram Ruvan de Beer, and the Facebook also just Ruvan de Beer athlete page.
Amazing. Can we please get a kick him in the head from you? Nice loud one.
How's that?
Just kick him in the head.
Kick him in the head. Kick him in the head.
Kick him in the head.
In the head.
Kick them in the head.
Kick them in the head.
Ruvan, thank you so much, and good luck with your challenge in Luanda. We really look forward to seeing that fight. Cheers. Welcome, Valhalla MMA Gym, to Kick Him in the Head podcast. Nice to meet you.
Thank you for having us. Thank you, appreciate it.
So, we just met you here at the Versus Grappling Tournament in Pretoria, and your fighters were phenomenal. They won across the board. So tell us more about your gym and more about what Valhalla MMA is bringing to the MMA table.
Yeah, we've been around for over 11 years now. We've been involved with MMA, grappling, jiu-jitsu in all of that time. We've always produced champions out of the gym. We're still producing champions out of the gym. We had Kids Center today, and we had one adult center. We walked away with 8 gold medals. So we always do well. You know, it's a little bit slow now because of school holidays, but come 2nd and 3rd December, Submission Kings, we're entering a big team, and we hope to walk away with a lot of gold too.
Phenomenal. I like hearing a lot of gold. Do you currently have any professional fighters fighting in any promotions anywhere?
We used to, we don't anymore. So we very much and always have been a grassroots kind of gym that we bring people up from very much nothing and build them up. You know, we've got high hopes for one of our guys, Queenie Lampre. So he's one of our up-and-coming youth. He's going to go amateur soon and then into pros as fast as possible and try to get the title of the youngest title holder of the EFC.
We are definitely looking forward to that. Those are the kind of careers that we love to follow and we love to see in the EFC. So, with regards to MMA in South Africa, how has it been promoting MMA and getting fighters to understand that this is a real sport? Yes, you can do other sports, you can do grappling, BJJ, but MMA is a real sport that has a real home in South Africa, especially if you look at the international stars that we have.
Well, I was fortunate enough to be one of the youth coaches that went with the youth to Abu Dhabi during this year in August. So youth MMA in this country is definitely growing, and we as the older generation in the country need to focus on the youth and bring the youth up into this. End of this year, 9 December, we're hosting the Youth MMA Championships, which is the first one of its kind, where we're going to be running the whole tournament through Smooth Comp for MMA for the youth, ages 12 to 17. So we are doing everything we can to build up the youth in this country. You know, by making them do grappling comps, this is just one of the facets of MMA, and they do so phenomenally well. And let's be honest, grappling is a powerful sport in MMA. How many fights go to the ground? You know, let's be honest. So building them and giving them this kind of a base, that's the future. That's what we need to do. And please punt out 9 December, all of the youth. We want you guys signed up, come and compete, hold your records up. It's the first one. We're looking at doing a whole range of them next year, in awards gala at the end of next year. So let's go.
You hear that, South African youth? If you want the skills, come to Valhalla MMA. So, before I let you go, I have a very quick fight quiz for you.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite fighter?
George St. Pierre, has to be.
What's your favorite fighting style?
Grappling for sure, jiu-jitsu. Let's go.
What's your favorite move?
It'll have to be between these. We've got our own names for some of the submissions we've come up with. One of them snake bite and the other one is shark bite. And Bucky choke's not bad.
How many rounds are there in the title fight, MMA title fight?
5-minute rounds.
Give me 5 illegal moves in MMA.
5 illegal moves.
Actually, for you, in amateur MMA.
In amateur MMA, no strikes with the knee or elbows, no strikes to the head with knees on the ground or kicking to the head on the ground, no encroaching. Jeez, there's a whole list of them. I'm just trying to pull them off the top of my head now. No fish hooking, no eye gouging, the usual.
I think they're on 5.
The usual, yeah, man.
What's your favorite movie about fighting?
Favorite movie about fighting? Man, I'm going to have to go with fighting. There's so many. Look, I'm a massive fan, even though it's not MMA, boxing, Rocky. I'm a massive fan of that, man. Old school.
Sly Stallone, old school. Yeah. On a scale of 1 to 10, how big of an MMA enthusiast are you?
Man, I love watching MMA. I'm not a record keeper. I don't sit and worry about guys' records and everything. I just love watching MMA. Listen, I watch a lot of things. I watch MMA, I watch Kung Fu, I watch everything. I watch weapon forms, I look at bodybuilding, I look at everything. I'm very much an all-rounder and I like to watch everything. I'm not a record keeper. I don't sit and keep records of people. You know, I love watching just the sport.
You love combat sports. Can we get a nice loud kick him in the head from you?
Kick him in the head!
Yes! And where can people find you on the socials?
We are all over. Valhalla MMA SA, Gracie Borough, Alberton. You'll find us everywhere. Social media, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, pick one. Twitter, X, we're there.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Definitely. And we'll see you at the next one.
Always.
Cheers. Welcome, Tribal MMA to the Kick Him in the Head podcast. How are you today?
I'm alright with that, sir.
Fantastic. So tell us more about yourself and more about Tribal MMA and what Tribal MMA is bringing to the South African MMA landscape.
Alright, so my name is Coach Resh. We actually, from Tribal MMA. We're out, in the south of Joburg. We actually, in a place called Zach Park. Tribal MMA is actually more stand-up. Well, we actually putting in a bit more, we have jits and that now. But we've been in the game since 2001. And slowly but surely, we basically try to climb the ranks.
So you've been in the community for 20 years. That's a very long time for a gym to be in a community. How has the presence of the gym impacted the local community where you are?
Well, we've been in Zach Park from 1990. I started fighting in 1993, and then 2001, we basically opened up our own gym. Basically getting some, the kids off the street, trying to basically show them the martial arts world,
Yeah, and I think it's quite important, as we've seen many times in the world, is that the gym normally anchors a community and helps keep youth away from things like drugs and gang violence and all those negative things. So it's quite commendable to see that. So in terms of the fighters that you get coming out of your gym, where are most of these fighters from, and how do you see them progressing in their MMA careers?
They actually, they basically, from like the low-lying areas, basically, your camps, guys are basically, from the Bronx, basically. And we try and pull them in. Having a guy from the Bronx basically fighting on the main card today, we ready to take some heads off.
I hope by head kick.
Yes, a head kick, 100%. Well, we've got 2 guys on the main card, and we've got 2 guys on the undercard, and we've got 1 guy on the main card.
Okay. Do you guys have any fighters that are fighting professionally right now? Do you have any aspirations for professional promotions, or you like to keep it grassroots?
Well, one of our fighters, it's actually 2 of them. You've got a guy called Elvis Animal, Gola Gola. We've got Willem, the Viking Smith. My sister Raisa Isup as well. She's actually turned pro in boxing. So yeah, we try and basically mix it up a little.
Okay, so you guys are definitely shooting for the stars.
100%.
So, I have a few fight questions for you. Are you ready for our fight quiz?
Let's go.
Who's your favorite fighter?
Well, it would have to be Mr. Trikus Du Plessis. 100%. South African, baby.
Still knocks.
Yeah, still knocks all the way.
What's your favorite fighting style?
It would actually be Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
You like it on the ground, BJJ?
Yes, I love it.
So what's your favorite move then?
Well, if I'm going to tell you that, I'm going to give away tonight.
Keep your fight IQ and secrets.
Yeah, well, we're going to try, but I promise you, there's going to be war tonight.
How many rounds are there in a title fight?
5.
Name 5 illegal moves in amateur MMA.
5 illegal moves. Would have to be an elbow, poke in the eye, kick in the groin, pulling of hair, and no biting.
Nice and easy, right?
We'll try.
In your 20 or so year MMA career, have you ever kicked someone else in the head or been kicked in the head?
Well, I've actually kicked somebody in the head, yes.
How was it?
Felt good. Kicking me in the head.
Yes. What's your favorite movie about fighting?
It's actually, back in the day, movie called Yarrow. I'd say, Bloodsport. Jean-Claude Van Damme versus Polo. Yeah. Tom Boy from Kickboxing.
And you guys like kickboxing at Tribal MMA, right?
Yes, we do.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how big of an MMA enthusiast are you?
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
Favorite thing in the world?
Favorite thing in the world, you need to respect people. Go out there and just, live in that love.
So, thank you so much for being on the podcast. Can you please tell people on the socials where they can find you? If anyone's looking for a gym in the area or looking to outreach to you guys to help out with any fighters that might need help, where can people find you?
Well, they can actually look us up, Tribal Mixed Martial Arts. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram. I can also give my number out if you want.
Go for it.
078 625 6353.
Thank you so much. Rash, Tribal MMA, can we please get a nice big kick him in the head from you?
Kick him in the head!
That's how we like it. Thank you so much. Welcome to the Kick Him in the Head podcast. Today we are in the midst of very illustrious company. The great Cameron Simon from the Bantamweight division in the EFC. Cameron, welcome to the Kick Him in the Head podcast.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me, and thank you for joining Versus. I hope you guys are having a great time so far.
We're having an amazing time. We saw one of the fights with one of your fighters from CIT, Jabo. Blood everywhere, and we love blood. Head kicks everywhere as well. Absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, definitely. It's one of my favorite fights so far of the night, and I'm super proud that it's a Team CIT member as well. And I think that speaks volumes of the camp we have in Pretoria.
Speaking of which, Versus Promotions is a new promotion. This is only Versus Fight Night 7. Tell us more about what inspired the creation of Versus and where you see Versus in the near future.
Yeah, Versus was founded by myself and a great friend, a business partner, and someone that I look up to. Jan van den Berg is our president, and he's the owner of Versus Promotions, and he's done something amazing here. And we, off camera, we were just speaking about the experience you have when you join a Versus event, and that's what we want to showcase. We want to showcase that whether you are a fight fan or not, you will guarantee come here and have a great time. And also, we want to look after the fighters. That's, from as a fighter myself, the input was super important to have guys that are proud to be fighting for a promotion. We wanted guys that felt like they are loved and well taken care of, and I think we do that pretty well.
With that said, promotions like this and having fighters have a home is very important. So what impact do you see Versus having, not just on the landscape of the South African MMA scene, but in Africa as a whole?
Yeah, well, you get to see that in this card as well. We do not only have guys here regionally, we flew in guys from right across Africa to be on this card. So we are really going above and beyond to try and create a lot of opportunities for these guys. And the plans going forward, we're not only going to take over, well, we are already the best amateur promotion in the country or in Africa, but we will be the best professional promotion in Africa as well. And it's just going to come down to looking after our athletes, looking after our coaches that work very hard, and giving the rising stars of South African and African MMA the opportunity to shine under the bright lights as well.
And you heard it here first, Versus Promotion going pro very, very soon.
Yeah.
With that said, in terms of developing future and rising stars, who do you see as a current rising star within the Versus Promotion?
Yeah, we have a few to mention, like the Muffin Man, Neil Koch is our heavyweight champion. He's someone that we are very excited about. Tonight, fighting, Kanyo Makam, he is an absolute talent coming from PESFA. We have Grant Farrow from Silverbacks in Durban that traveled all the way up by bus just to make this fight. We have so many success stories from guys right across, and we are just glad that we can shine a little bit of light on that.
Amazing to hear. And I think just to shine a little bit of light on where you're going for your career, obviously you saw the last fight, didn't go your way, but obviously we've seen the skills that you have and where you're going. What's next for you in your career?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think even though there was a lot of adversity, a lot of stuff that counted against us in that fight, and it's one of those fights that we could have not taken. But I'm not very hesitant to take fights at all. So it's one of those fights I'm happy about. I'm proud of my performance. There are mistakes that we will fix, and I can guarantee you that. And I will be back at the end of February, beginning of March next year.
Awesome. Where can people find you on the socials? I'm sure that you've got tons. I mean, we know MSP Podcast, really like the content as well, but where can people find you on the social?
Yeah, CameronSimon.com for my personal page, but tonight is Versus night, so Versus Promotions. You can go check out versusmma.com for our information, and we are planning, we had the discussion of how many events we're planning, and I said 6 and Jan said 8 for next year. So he is hungry, we are hungry to have proper events next year. So go check out versusmma.com.
And we're really looking forward to it because, like you said, in the South African and African landscape, this is definitely the best amateur promotion. And with what I see here, definitely going to be a very, very good pro promotion on the continent.
Yeah, not a doubt. If you can see the absolute talent we're showcasing now, imagine what we do when we go pro.
Just imagine.
Yeah.
Cameron, can I please just get a nice loud kick in the head from you?
Do you want? Oh, must I kick you in the head?
Oh, no, please, wait. Well, maybe I could take it. I mean, why would I put this on if I can't, I guess, right?
This is Kick Him in the Head podcast. We're out. Cheers, guys. Thank you.
Karen, thank you so much. Much appreciated.
Thanks, man. You too.
Will do. And we're looking. Welcome to Kick in the Head podcast. Right now, we're speaking with Ashley Calvert, MMA fighter, coach, and matchmaker for the EFC. Ashley, welcome to Kick in the Head.
Thank you very much for having me. I really do appreciate it. And I've kept an eye on your podcast. It's looking good. I like your activity and that. And how you also come into these shows. It's something that the community needs and the fighters need. So it's good to see you, and thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. Tell us more about what you've been doing with regards to matchmaking in the MMA space and the fighters that you're seeing coming out of South Africa right now.
So basically, first off, with my kids, they're already into the MMA fighting and that. So I've seen most of the amateurs that have gone into the pro circuit now. But it's for me to stay active, and I like these sort of events where to show myself here, to see actually what's happening, get to know them, their style. And then also when it comes to matchmaking on the professional ranking at EFC, it makes the job easier and it helps me match right. That's the key to matching, especially on the professional level. Guys stepping in is to get the chemistry right. The chemistry's right, the fans get a good show, it's good for promotion, good for the fighters and sponsorships and stuff like that. So that's all what it's about. It's the chemistry that I got to kind of produce.
So what are you looking to do outside of matchmaking in the MMA space in South Africa, and where do you see it going based on the fact that we have Dricus du Plessis about to fight for a world championship? We've got Cameron Simon in the UFC. We've got amazing fights across the board from amateur to senior level. Where do you see MMA in South Africa and Africa going within the next 2 to 3 years?
I think it's nice, like you said, Africa. I think we've got to look at it as the pitch as the whole. I think Africa in itself, including South Africa, there's so much talent, and we're a different breed of fighters. It's about discovering the gems. Like if you look at like a Humphrey, for instance, the guy has made an absolute terror of things. He's only 20 years old, and there's a lot more like him out there, and that's what the whole thing is about, discovering him. But it's also nice that, like you mentioned, Dricus and Cameron, and even the guys before that who have entered the UFC. There's a nice doorway that's opened up for Africa to start stepping in. And it's about finding these gems like a Humphrey, putting them on these kind of stages, letting them grow, find themselves, become a brand of their own, and start pushing them through that door. You know, the more UFC fighters we can produce from Africa, the better for all of us. So that's pretty much where the ultimate goal has to lie. We've got to see it as a whole, Africa. And that's how I see it. So yeah, it's exciting times.
So very recently, and obviously there's a bit of a theme of retired fighters coming back. We saw P.D. Cotton against Dino Bagatine. Is there a chance we'll see you back in the Hex anytime?
Myself, I came back from a 6-year layoff. I had my time. I still had like another 6 fights, I felt. But when the assistant matchmaking came up at EFC, wisdom showed me, you know what, if I can get in, I stay in the industry for longer. I'd rather stay for many more years to come, get a different view on it, than have 6 fights and I'm done and I'm completely off the picture. So I've enjoyed stepping into this role. Also the relationship building I've really enjoyed. But also EFC have allowed me to do, like say, boxing now. So I've got a master box coming next weekend, so I can represent the MMA community on that. Don't know how that's going to go, but I'm going to go for it hard. And also, like, if there's BKFC as well, I was there at the tryouts. If they want me, great, let's go for it, you know. So there's still avenues for me to fight. But I'm enjoying the position that I've got now. I've got a good relationship with some of the fighters already and the coaches and managers, and building up new relationships with the other guys. So I'm enjoying the journey.
That's amazing to hear. Before we let you go, I have a few fight questions for you.
Okay.
Who's your favorite fighter?
Locally or internationally?
Or forever, yes. Hold on.
Can I be honest with you? I've actually been asked that kind of a question before. I don't go for a specific fighter. I like looking at the different fighters of what they produce, the different styles, the mentalities, how they approach themselves as well to the public. There's a lot of youth watching out there, and I like the kind of humble guys, even though they put, you know, all the action inside their cage, but they're still down to earth guys. I think it's good for the youth to start watching those kind of guys. I know there's Conor McGregor's, people like him, but you know what I mean? Everyone's got their own little bit of a taste in that. So I like the more humble approach of guys. So those are my favorite kind of fighters.
What's your favorite fighting style?
It started off grappling, and then I started getting a passion for stand-up fighting. So I like the Muay Thai, I think, because it's the elbows and the knees and that, and the clinch work's a little different. They like to obviously hit through. instead of little taps for sort of point scoring. So I like the Muay Thai. Boxing now, me going into boxing, I've got a different appreciation. Even though it's just hands, it's the science behind it, the angle change in the setups, the head movements. I mean, learning that your first defense in boxing is actually on the feet. It's moving away from things, you know. So I'd say Muay Thai and then boxing. I like those two.
Good combination. What's your favorite move?
Favorite move? Yeah. Well, of course, with your podcast, it's got to be the head kicks. So I'll go with that theme. Everyone likes a head kick. I mean, my son, he's in the K1 now as well. When he throws those head kicks and they actually land, even if they skim the glove, you hear the crowd how they go. So there's something special about the head kick. So we'll go the head kick.
Strange enough, the next question. Have you ever been kicked or kicked someone in the head for a win?
In training, well, not in the actual fight, Dino Bagatine, the other day, I was thinking to myself at the weigh-in, I was like, I remember this time we actually knocked me out with the head kick in sparring training. You know what I mean? So head kick is something different. It's a lot different than a punch. Yeah, so head kick is quite a solid combination of a strike. If I kick someone in the head, I'm too short to uphill. And I don't have flexibility. If I throw it, I just throw it. And I haven't landed one. But it would be nice one day, maybe I'll land one. Who knows?
What's your favorite movie about fighting?
Sorry, say
Your
again?
favorite movie about fighting?
Movie. Here Comes the Boom. What's that guy? Here Comes the Boom.
Kevin, yes, he was big and he was doing
Yeah, I like that. Okay, there's a bit of comedy into it. It also showed the raw essence of, if you want to get into it, it's a lot of hard work, you know. So I enjoyed the comedy side of it, things, because this sport can be seen as quite a serious thing. So put a bit of comedy into that as well. It's nice.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how big of an MMA enthusiast are you?
I'm 10 plus. Like anything on combat sports, like I absolutely love sports in general. I love, but when I got into the MMA training, that when I was about 20. I was hooked on the first day, and ever since there, I can't stop watching fights. Even my wife was like, before I'd step back into UFC, she's like, you got to go back. And I'm like, no. But she sees me, how active I am into watching constantly. Local scene, international scene, anything from kickboxing to boxing to Muay Thai, now BKFC. I'm always watching, like analyzing, like anything on combat sport I love.
Amazing. Ashley, where can people find you on the socials?
Oh, geez, just search the name Ashley Calvert. You'll find me somewhere along the line, especially on Instagram and then Facebook. Facebook are probably more active, but I like to watch what's going on in the fighters sort of profiles and that. See their activity, also get to know their characters. Also, once again, it helps with the matchmaking.
Very true, very true. Can we get one last thing from you?
Yeah, sure.
A nice, big, loud kick him in the head.
Kick him in the head.
Ashley, thank you so much for the time.
Thank you very much.
Much appreciated.
Appreciate
Look
it.
forward to chatting to you again, definitely.
Likewise.
As well.
We'll definitely
Cool.
chat.
Thank you so much.